everyone, Tony D and Little Joan here with your Hollywoke hot take. What's going on in Hollywood, or Hollywoke as I like to call it? Leah Remini reveals 16-year-old daughter helps her be more woke, champions social, racial, and climate causes. Star appeared for an interview on the Drew Barrymore show. First off, I am shocked, absolutely shocked, that Drew Barrymore has a TV show. But even more shocking is that Leah seems to be caught up in kind of another cult when you think about it. The woke cult, man, it gets everybody. You would think Leah would be immune. She would see the signs and go, whoa, wait a minute. No. Now, she might just be going along with her 16-year-old daughter and humoring her. But Remini noted that her 16-year-old finds, quote, nothing interesting about her, but notes that she's not like other stereotypical angsty anti-parent teens. Okay. Remini explained that her daughter is very loving towards her and often finds social causes for her mom to champion and her sizable social media influence. You're fighting Scientology. Is that not enough? It's like the biggest. I mean, they're still around. Don't get distracted, Leah, is all I'm saying. I love your show, by the way. This is not Lady Gaga about to have an orgy with Hunter Biden. It's just not her. You know how I know it's not her? Because Lady Gaga is not stupid enough to tape herself having sex. She's way too smart for that. Hunter Biden, I think, has a problem. This was disappointing. Rita Moreno, Hollywood racism, still the same damn problem as when I started. I don't believe that. I just don't believe that. It can't possibly be the same. Rita, I remember her from Sesame Street, and for years, I remember seeing her on the show and thought to myself, I must be crazy. Rita Moreno is a big star. She couldn't have possibly been on Sesame Street. No, she was. She was on a bunch of episodes when I was a little kid. And she has a very long and storied career. And look, there are racists in Hollywood, but it's mostly made up of jerks. And you can't just dump them into the racism category. They're just jerks. Yeah, sometimes they're racist jerks. Sometimes they just use racism because it's a convenient way for them to be a jerk. But to say that Hollywood is as racist now as it was when Rita started in, I guess she would have started in the late 60s, early 70s. Come on, man. Come on, man. And finally, oh wait, wasn't there one more? Oh, right. Nancy Sinatra. I'll never forgive Trump voters. Hope the anger doesn't kill me. That's a strong statement, Nancy. A very strong statement. And for her and those of you who still suffer from TDS, please get some help. He's not president. Okay? He's not president now. So go get some help. See a therapist. Talk out your issues. I don't think this is really about Trump for a lot of you. It's about your own anger towards yourself and various things. But you like to use Trump to express that anger and make it about him rather than you. That's my theory. But this is the one I got to talk about. I talk about Saturday Night Live once in a while, and because I used to love the show. Oh, God, I love the show. And I wanted to be on the show. That was my dream, to write comedy for SNL. And now it just hurts me to watch the show. It's just painful to watch. So this was a skit called What Still Works. And this is from Variety. Saturday Night Live Return analyzes Marjorie Taylor Greene and the beer virus vaccine rollout. Analyzes. That's what Saturday Night Live does now. It analyzes things. Hey, want to watch a comedy show? Oh boy, I'd sure like to hear something analyzed. What the hell? Back in the day, Variety, they did not really cover Saturday Night Live. It was considered beneath them. right? That was television. Ew. That's the way it was when television was like the internet, when it was newer. It was newer than movies. If you were an actor on TV, oh, forget about being on movies. Ah, you're a TV actor. Even now, that still kind of flies. Not as much anymore. But this is the kind of woke nonsense that they're going for. Oh, and I had to show you the one other thing. They opened this. John Krasinski was the host, and they opened with him and Pete Davidson kissing. I, you know, so what? He didn't. I don't even think they put it in a sketch. You know, if you'd put it in a sketch and made it part of the sketch, that would have been amazing. You know, it would have been like back in the day when Uhuru kissed Captain Kirk, and it was a big deal. But now it's, first off, it's not a big deal. It's absolutely not a big deal anymore. You're way late to this party. And number two, why not just put it in a sketch? What? Why do the laziest effing thing just to get some eyes on your show? You know, back in the day, there was no competition for Saturday Night Live, and in many ways, there's still no competition for it. The only thing that was on against Saturday Night Live would be like Night Flight and like concerts, you know, old concerts that they had videotaped and would put on. There would be concerts for older people. Like, I remember my grandmother always liked to watch Lawrence Welk. But mostly there was nothing on. There was nothing to compete with Saturday Night Live. And, you know, it was an outrageous, subversive show when it first appeared. And people loved it for that. And for a long time it was like that because there was nothing competing against it. I think Friday nights. Was it Fridays or... it was the one with Kramer was in it. And they actually tried to compete against SNL. But the show died. But Saturday Night Live had no competition. And at some point, it just became part of the establishment. And, you know, it is that way now. It's very much establishment. It's so establishment now. And you could tell from this headline. And this sketch is, I guess it would be funny for a Biden supporter, right? So the first person they have come out is, first it's Kate McKinnon as the host, as herself, doing not even a character, just doing sort of a neutral voice. Then they have a woman, I don't recognize the cast anymore. She plays Marjorie Taylor Greene, and it's just, you know, sometimes when they do this, they really look like the person. In this case, she didn't attempt to, which I appreciate. Because I prefer it that way. I prefer that they not go into all the makeup and concentrate more on the comedy. But the comedy, in my view, is kind of lazy. You know, it's just a bunch of conservative tropes that really anybody could have written it. It didn't really drill down too much in QAnon or anything. And it kind of just smeared conservatives in a wide brush, as wide as possible. You know, there's no nuance to it whatsoever. Then they did, and they've already bashed conservatives so much. To do it again is just, it's the height of laziness, especially now. It's like, the tough part would be writing some stuff for Biden. Although actually, it would be pretty easy since no one does it. Okay? It would be easy to have someone do a Biden who's so befuddled and old. He's just making mistakes. You know, he's just out of his mind. I would love to see a sketch like that. But they're not going to do it because they're all Democrats. Now, this is about, the second guest was Derek Boner. He's supposed to be, it's Pete Davidson doing a guy who made money on GameStop. But he's wearing a GameStop shirt. And it's like they don't understand what happened. That's not what happened. The guys at GameStop didn't buy GameStop. A bunch of Redditors did. I guess rather than explain that, they just got him. But they really could have gotten any stoner looking dude. And, it was a perfect opportunity. And they've been doing this online. The 10 most richest people, and the third one is Tig Biddy's 42069, because that's his avatar name as opposed to his actual name. And they kind of do it with Derek Boner, but not really. But, they totally miss that boat because it's all internet. The whole stonks thing is internet. They did say stonks. Good for Pete Davidson to say stonks. He's at least tuned in enough to know that. But it kind of dropped the ball on this. And the whole premise is it's a talk show called What Works, or What Still Works, or whatever. And it's that's it? That's going to be the premise? You could have done The View, or, the Drew Barrymore show. I mean, any of the shows that are on the air now. In fact, Drew Barrymore would have been a good one, because you could have made fun of Drew Barrymore. And then you could have, rather than have Kate McKinnon bash conservatives, and we already know her and the cast are going to do that the whole time, you could have had Drew Barrymore done it. And it would have been a couple of different layers of comedy, as opposed to just those darn Republicans, they're such a-holes. And and they don't, and from this sketch, they don't really seem to understand what happened. And then there's a very strange one where they pull out Jack Dorsey and Zuckerberg. And the Zuckerberg guy, I've never heard Zuckerberg act like this guy acts. Dorsey was kind of like Dorsey. This version of Zuckerberg, I'm just did this happen in an interview that I missed? I guess it must have. But it seemed like yet another missed opportunity to portray Zuckerberg as the cyborg or android that he's portrayed on the internet, which I've heard he hates, but seems like another missed opportunity. And then, the whole thing, social media, does it work? They bash conservatives again, because the whole premise is, oh, you banned QAnon guys, and how did that work? Oh, they went to other sites, and now they're more bloodthirsty than ever. I'm really? Really? Is that all you got? Is that all you can do on Jack Dorsey and Mark Zuckerberg? There is a litany of material on those two. Look at his beard. You didn't even mention it. He is a freaking billionaire hobo. And we're still, go back to gotta hit the conservative button again. It's come on, man. And then the vaccine rollout, the joke was O.J. Simpson got it ahead of everybody. Which I guess is true. I mean, he's old. So, kind of doesn't work. How about actually talking about some of the actual problems? I mean, if you're going to analyze it, actually analyze it in your comedy. But I guess it's not too hilarious to know that they changed the testing parameters for the beer virus, or that suddenly Democratic states are opening up the doors. I mean, you could mention stuff like that in passing if you're going to get political, because that's what people actually would laugh at. Because people watch your TV show, not a bunch of fellow neoliberals who are rich and just love Joe Biden, or have to keep their job and fabulous money and movie deals. I gotta say, it was a decent OJ impersonation, though. I like this one. See, this to me is the right amount of makeup. He doesn't totally look like OJ. He's kind of dressed like OJ. He's got enough of his mannerisms. He did the voice. That's it. That's all you need. It's all right balance there. And then finally, the guest comes out, and it's John Krasinski as Tom Brady. And he's the last thing that works in America, because he just keeps, winning Super Bowls, and that's the joke. But they couldn't end it there, because she ends it with, it's not like you're a crazy Trump supporter, right? What is wrong with you people? When are you going to let it go? This is your opening? This is your opening sketch for the season? All the stuff you could have done? I mean, just doing the stocks would have been amazing. Would have been amazing. How about a room full of stockbrokers watching billions get taken from them by idiots on the internet? I mean, that to me would have been a hilarious sketch. But as always, the part of the problem with doing comedy these days is the sort of shared experience you need to get people to laugh. A lot of people don't even really know that much about the Wall Street thing. They've kind of heard about it because at this point, Wall Street's freaking out. But there's a lot of people they don't follow that kind of stuff. Just like some people don't really follow politics all that closely. But, it's not like it was back in the day when SNL did a sketch about, they did a parody of a ketchup commercial. They nailed it because everybody saw that ketchup commercial. Now, if you did the same thing, people would be like, what? Is that a thing? Oh, it must be a thing. Because they don't watch the same stuff anymore. And, I mean, it's tough to address, but you got to get more broad with your comedy in that case if you actually want a real audience. I mean, I guess you could keep catering to the neoliberals who still love Biden and want to live in this bubble. But I kind of think you're driving people away. You're not getting any new people. That's not a young thing. I mean, if you were going to do the young demo, you'd have to do, skits about BLM and Antifa, and get into some detail. Or the opposite, go with, some of the Republicans. Or how about young Republicans? How about this? How about get out of politics? How about do comedy again? How about stop bashing people, that don't deserve it? Dude, 75 million Trump supporters really deserve your ire 24/7 in every sketch, in every line. Do they really? I mean, those people are poorer than you. And I thought, well, we're lefties. We like to lift everybody up. Oh, but while you're down there, we'll spit on you. So, if you're thinking about, maybe I'll start watching SNL again, because maybe they're finally giving up some of this political stuff, doesn't appear to be that way. John Krasinski's in The Office and Quiet Place and Hunt for Red October, or he's doing the Tom Clancy thing. I mean, there's plenty of stuff to parody with him. And, it used to be such a subversive show. I mean, Christopher Lee was a guest on SNL back in the day. Christopher freaking Lee. And it was amazing. Because back then, that was pre Lord of the Rings, Star Wars. He was in B movies. His career was over back then. It was before he came back and exploded again. He had been in a few things, but he had been Dracula. That's why they had him on in the 70s. It was amazing to have a guy like Christopher Lee. Now they just got not Krasinski's not bad. He's not a bad guy or anything. I'm not bashing him, but every flash in the pan promoting a movie comes on Saturday Night Live now. How about some real legends? How about I don't know, has Betty White ever hosted Saturday Night Live? That would be cool. She's been in so many things over the years. It'd be amazing. You could do a Mary Tyler Moore parody. I mean, that's classic. And you could say, well, that's too old. Yeah, but, that stuff's classic. It's been on TV forever. People still watch it Nick at Night. And people just like Betty White, a guest like that. You could get away from politics. Or you could just keep grinding this out. SNL. Everything I used to like. like now sucks.